the game. See if any true vision is being bought out here, but no. Looks like they keep it with the trinkets, so it'll be long-lasting. Dorn's Blades for the top lane as well on both sides.
Yeah, it could be a fighting Dorn's Blades, or they're just using those Dorn's Blades to jungle early.
That's true.
These teams have a somewhat defeatist attitude into running into the 2 or 3v1 lane. And that looks the way we're going to be formatting these, which will actually isolate the mid lane a fair bit for Link and Golden Glue. As we mentioned in the pregame, Golden Glue only averaging 52 CS in 10 minutes. The league average, of course, being 72. So we'll track that. You'd think it would actually be higher because everyone says that breakpoint is, oh, keep 10 CS a minute. That's actually not what pro games average at. They're much closer to 76, 77 is really the top you'll see just because of the rotations and because these guys counter-harass each other to prevent them from CSing.
Looks like they're putting quite a focus on the bottom side. Dig going for the invade, but you already see that Double Lift and Afromoo are hugging that top side, so it looks like we are going to get the 2v1 to start off. The wards aren't going to be there for the extra vision, so this is all just to kind of get the early gold flowing if they can get to the turret pushes in time. We'll see how they try to organize it. We've been saying the jungler's the one to go top. They'll probably do the same thing. We'll see what can happen out of that. CLG with the rotations, this should always favor them with this kind of gameplay.
I wonder if CLG is going to share jungle experience between Lee Sin and Trundle. There was a very interesting Challenger quarterfinal between Complexity Black and Complexity Red, where the top laner and jungler both shared until they were both level 2, instead of having the jungler hit level 3 and the top laner hit level 1. And then they sent all 4 to the lane, all with 2 skills in. And they actually were able to shove and kill the inhibitor turret instead of just the second tier turret, which most teams end up doing. Yep, just the standard buff rates.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Dexter is going to be taking out easily this blue for himself. The ward gives them all the coverage they need, and actually see Crumbs getting himself back into position as well. So the bottom lane pushing in, nothing really coming from both teams in the early part of the game until they get what they want, which is that first and second turret if possible. And then the gold flows, who can work with that gold better is what we're really looking at. Like you said, both teams kind of staving off on the fights. They're going to want to hold this off with hard hats on. So here we go to the side lanes. Let's get the push and go.
Ooh, we got a little minion. He was hoping Yen would be a little bit lower than that.
Getting things started early.
See how Golden Glue vs. Link does. The lanes are going to be shoving. There's actually it's a 4-man.
4, yep.
Being tossed down to the bottom. Kiwi Kid level 1, but Cruiser just hitting level 2. They'll shove very quickly here. Cruiser being able to hypercharge.
This actually is quite big.
No, he didn't even skill up his W. Dignitas could be shoving faster than this right now. Cruiser got his gate and his shock blast instead for the escape in case they get collapsed upon.
It would be great to have a Trundle in that top lane with Frozen Domain down getting attack speed, but it looks like they are just going to keep pressuring on without him, so they're trading even on that, even with the armor champion reduction on the top turret damage. So great pushes here, but it's up to that second turret and who can start to rotate out of that. Golden Glue low on mana as he tries to keep the lane pushed against Link. It looks like he's been landing a few of his own spears. Still only 3 on this. Looking at the bottom turret now, it's already going to be taken down before CLG can get that top one. So Dignitas cruising along.
Just the straight up trades. Both teams decided this is what they wanted to do, so that is the way it happened.
Just letting it kill minions.
And a double lift. And AmaCutiePie. AmaCutiePie actually isolating the gold for himself there. Got all the local experience, and Kiwi Kid is starting his roaming very early, like he likes to.
So we do see Nian is level 3, so I don't think he's going to be meeting anybody soon. So the level discrepancy between Cruiser and him shouldn't affect too much. The party indeed. Doesn't look like Dexter invited too many friends. With some airmail there from Link on the backside, almost coming up with first blood as Counter Logic Gaming rotates everybody through the jungle of Dignitas instead of backing after the second tier turret.
Yeah, like we thought in Champs Select, this is a very rotation-heavy game for CLG. They're just practicing the crispness. There's a flash, burning another one.
This is crazy. When we see other teams doing this right after that bottom second tier is taken, so is Dragon, but CLG has fast rotated from top lane, and now it's theirs.
Preventing the Dragon play right there. It's very low levels right now, so the Dragon does a substantial amount of damage. And this could be an interesting little dance here. Neither team should really be starting this Dragon because it would mean defeat.
CLG has not had the chance to go back and spend this turret gold that they got. We have Cutie Pie with the Scepter coming back into lane, so there's a little bit more damage coming in from Dig on this fight. But like we said, the levels are so low. It's going to be all about this push. 4 men in the bottom, Link trying to hold mid, and it looks like Kiwi Kid level 2. He just blew his flash on the hook. He's going to be in the wrong spot at the right time for CLG. First blood.
CLG moves faster, and they are not afraid to turret dive 4v2.
They made sure to get so many wards in before they even tried for that Dragon. Behind red buff is what got Kiwi Kid killed there, and they're still trying to put the pressure on. Cutie Pie needs to at least get in range for that experience, but he cannot. Golden Glue also getting pushed out of mid lane since nobody else is there to help him, and he eats one to the face from Link.
Just destroys him, hits level 6 first, and just starts pouncing around. You don't usually see solo kills right there, but you could tell Golden Glue, with the flash being burned prior, and also going Ignite on Orianna. A lot of Orianna's go barrier, does not have the defensive capabilities to stop that one.
CLG just starting pandemonium there. Nien also coming in for it. He knows Kiwi's too. He thought about that for a second, and then they just reassessed the fight and said, we are still on top of this one. Just going at the pillar to give Cutie Pie a little more harass and trouble in his ways. They're going to be back out. Kiwi Kid does have the Sight Stone, so this proves good for Dig. This can hopefully stop CLG always getting into their base. Now the CLG has to back a little breathing room for Dig, but that was bad.
Yeah, that was very bad for them. CLG picked up many advantages off that. You can see the huge amount of wards that CLG just picked up. 4 pinks this early on in the game. Because all the early turrets have been taken down, the vision control becomes even more important, and it will be very difficult for Dignitas to control these things since they are using their flashes pretty much as they come up again. And they're still under-leveled, and the one lane that wasn't getting super rotated on died 1v1.
And CLG is almost getting advantages out of this since Dragon didn't take it down. They can pressure more. Dig may not even be able to formulate onto this, so CLG giving themselves more advantages from everything they've already done. There's a nice spear going over. Link's going to be pushing that mid lane back into Golden Glue.
I always like seeing Nidalee players jump away after they throw spears to try and increase the max distance. That's how the Nidalee spear used to work, is it would calculate the damage from when the spear hit to the current location of Nidalee. Now it calculates from the start of the spear throw, but players still do it anyway. COG gets this Dragon because of their superior rotations.
Old habits die hard. Ooh, trying to get one on that.
We've got 2 levels on Golden Glue right now.
Trying to do that switch fast Cougar Javelin throw. Still kind of hides it a bit. Ooh, both just missing off the side of the Wraith.
They want the big one.
You're gonna try to get it. Link gets in there. They know they can toy with that extra few feet of danger. Nothing can really hurt them right now, being so far up. And now that Dexter's on Lee Sin, he can kind of roam right here between red and go to bottom, or back to Link if he needs help. God, so many resources just for Dignitas to stop a red invade.
Whoa.
So many.
He takes a decent amount of poke, but the blue buff on Nidalee keeps them going. All the while this is happening, COD's actually pushing them back with fewer people. Yen is off having a blast on Trundle.
He just got himself some green shoes. Went back and got some Ninja Tabis for himself.
War fight.
Aphromoo not even level 6 yet, and Crumbs is. You can see how he's pushing him out. Level 3.
Exactly. Aphromoo not level 6, but Kiwi Kid's not level 4. That's an even bigger problem right there. Dignitas absolutely dominating. Look at all those pink wards that they have used to push through onto Dignitas. And then a teleport to keep the minion alive. They are going all out on objectives. Do not care about kills.
Gonna get this turret. Sending 4 people to that push lane. Definitely soaked up a little more experience than what CLG got out of their 3 push. Everybody's a little more healthy as well. The movements have 4 pink wards now down on that bottom side of the map.
Oh, man.
And another kill coming in on a Golden Glue. That's a flash. I don't think he's getting out of this one. Nien puts himself in the fray. Dexter's in there as well. Still has his ultimate that gets used. Oh my gosh, Kiwi Kid still level 3, takes almost all of his health from 1 Javelin. That wasn't even max range.
Riv, this is a CLG team on a mission. They were not happy about their 2 losses thus far in Super Week, and they have cleaned it up overnight. Up pretty much 5,000 gold after this turret goes down, not giving Dignitas an inch.
Exactly 10 minutes in the game, and they start on the mid turret. That first tier is going to be broken out, and the map is now opened up for CLG to roam even that much more. But now we got Nien in the party. His teleport's down, so he's going to stay with this. They're going to take down even that much more until he goes back to the top lane for the split push.
This might be much. Yeah, and this might be some kind of record for how long into the game do you stay level 3. Kiwi Kid was level 3 at 9 minutes a couple days ago, but it is 10.5 minutes, and COG has not allowed him to get even to level 4.
He can't get close
there
either. Level 4 comes in, it's not going to help him. He still goes for the flash. Flash initiation, level 4 Kiwi Kid. CLG is on the run from that right now, and Dig, they don't even know if they can reinitiate out for what just happened.
No, but the unfortunate thing for Dignitas there, because they have been getting so pushed around, the level advantages exist very strongly for CLG, and this early on into the game, it's roughly 500 to 800 gold in stats per level, so this gold lead is just exacerbated by the experience advantage of CLG as well, making them infinitely stronger.
Kiwi Kid just going off the rail there. Keeps himself safe though. Did not go down for being level 4 to pretty much right now half of the levels that Link is. So you just imagine how much damage he's going to receive on the first attack. 5,000 gold in that lead. CLG thinks that that wasn't too much of what should really be happening, and they go ahead and get a nice strong push on mid lane as Nien returns to top.
Yeah, and Nien just living off his teleport. You can see CLG backing as a unit. One of the most difficult things to do for teams as they try and work towards a stronger team play and rotational game is just the times at which you back. Because everyone gets into habits of wanting to back as soon as they can buy an item, but you lose a lot of map pressure as soon as even one person backs. So they were going to lose the map pressure anyway. Everyone backed at once, and they're trying to make it back before this turret goes down as a cohesive unit.
CLG played that situation perfectly. They didn't even go back after they got the first 2 turrets that helped them to really control the map altogether. They do lose mid with the perseverance of Dignitas wanting that mid turret, and good on Dig for that flash initiation, giving them some ground, but they gotta be careful. They don't have much ground to work with.
That's a very painful spear. You could see Link actually going for his Sorcerer's Shoes before finishing his Athene's Unholy Grail because he wants those spears to hit even harder. It's unthinkable for Dignitas to build magic resistance this early, which is why those spears are hitting so hard.
Nien's going to be back in the top lane, but no, actually he stays. I was going to say his teleport should be coming up if he's doing that, but it looks like he's just waiting for the rest of the team. They get a call that even though we've warded everything in the bottom, we're going to start working the top side now. We'll let W11D3 go ahead and push that out.
Yeah, and with the way CLG is playing, it's going to be really tough for Dignitas to come back here. No man on Cruiser. Blade back. Kick back.
Doing what he can. 3v1 situation. He knew he was down. CLG is putting the pieces in place to always get something out of nothing, really. It was just Nien staring Cruiser in the face there.
Yeah, and this is the... As you saw when the fog was toggled there, there's no vision anywhere, even within Dignitas' own jungle, which meant this was a big surprise. Aphromoo does get the play, which was enough to get Dexter in range for the kick. And they could use all those resources because Dignitas had no map pressure elsewhere. Another nice move by them.
Definitely the kind of play CLG needs to have in the playoffs. It's the first time we've actually seen a team on the 2v1 go straight to Dragon, so a little bit of adaptation there on what we've been seeing.
Especially red side 2v1.
Right,
they took the 2 turrets and then they were still able to control the Dragon. Which was quite impressive.
They'll be getting another one for themselves here, racking up even more gold to the team. You can see 151 going over to Link, multiply that out. 24,000 now to 18.1. The little minion just saving that off.
You could tell I'mACutiePie knew there were steals coming. That's why he tried to do as much damage as possible. Actually, he has to use his ultimate just to nuke down the red buff before a potential steal could come in. He does secure it, but that means the Ezreal ult isn't up to clear waves.
He's also far behind on damage. A stacking Bloodthirster for W11D3 now. No Sheen even. CutiePie's trying to get a little bit of HP out of the Phage, that movement speed to keep him safe. Hopefully the red buff can trigger some fights here if Kiwi Kid now with Tibbers up, Flash just on the edge of coming up, can initiate a good fight for the team. We're still looking for a kill from Dignitas here. And 5 kills on the side of CLG as given them a lot of map. We see them do this all the time. High structures, low kills.
This actually reminds me of a very early on in the season game by CLG, when they actually had Hotshot and they were playing against Curse. They had a 4-0 game against them. It was pretty much all rotation heavy. This is pretty crazy. No one is level 9 even. They're going to need all 5 to get this Baron down.
The end better be huge.
Yeah, this is actually a real danger if Dignitas collapses on them, which they are. They got spotted a little bit.
Dignitas does not have vision on the map, but when you don't see anybody in the lanes, they're only at one spot. It does go to Dexter. They should be able to turn on this fight, all 5 of them. The end getting the command shockwave, and they should be able to organize. PewDiePie now to get himself in some Mystic shots as they just fight on Tibbers after finding him. It looks like they're safe on Baron. Dignitas very just hesitant on anything they're doing.
Well, that was a little bit too close for comfort for CLG as well. And Dignitas' hesitation of going towards there was well warranted, considering their abysmal ward control throughout this game, because CLG has been dominating them in vision. But their senses were correct there for Dignitas to check the Baron. It's just Crumbs couldn't get in there for a steal. He's not even level 11 yet. Those jumps are very baby-like on Kha'Zix before he has the evolution. I do not blame Crumbs for missing that one.
Stubbed his toe a little bit there. Coming up on 17 minutes in the game. Like you were saying, the wards, there was about 7 to 3 wards on the map. And those 3 wards from Dig only came because they were trying to get to Baron. So it was basically dark everywhere. A 9,000 gold lead will actually cut your wards off the map quite easy. That means the other team has the vision. They're going to start sweepers quite soon. But really, the sweeper is only on to Aframu right now. So CLG is working with having the vision, knowing they're going to win the fights no matter what happens.
And winning the fights no matter what happens is very key for them right now. You can actually see Warden's Mails on Nien and Dexter. They are building up armor, not so much to, you know, withstand Dignitas' damage, but to withstand turret damage, I think. The tanks are going to be wanting to go in and maybe participate in some turret dives as CLG tries to squeeze this one out very quickly.
Wow. Oh, going for a relentless pursuit. He throws on the ultimate. Calling is going to be just a little bit. I don't know if he has enough. Double it flashes out of the hit coming in from Cruiser. And they're going to be able to turn this. Ardent Blaze hitting on the side of that one, and he gives himself another kill.
7-0, and the gold lead grows. There's the flash, forcing another one. This turret's going down.
They do need that armor for turret dive in a little bit, chat. It's going to be another hit up. Nien's in the bottom lane. CLG is so far ahead this game. They're 1-3-1-ing, and now to the top lane after they don't even need to go for mid. 7-0 in kills. They have a shutout on that, and they look to take an inhibitor turret without Dignitas responding. They're kind of just walking around in their base.
CLG is on pace for a flawless victory here. 7 kills to 0, and they are just everywhere when compared to Dignitas. And once they have a lead of this magnitude, they can keep taking larger and larger risks. That's why they're all still in front of the base. They want more.
Still going very hard onto this. Doublelift not even having a chance to go back and finish the pieces of his Triforce. CLG probably has quite a bit of money they're working with right now, but can't even, they just want to get these structures down because they know they have that advantage. This is almost like the point of going back and wanting to buy, but they know they can get so much more even without it.
Exactly, they want to buy because they're actually collectively sitting on about 6,600 gold right now. Jeez. But the pressure they would lose is a little bit more than that, which is why they're sticking around and trying to get as many advantages off of the rest of this Baron buff before they go back and shop. If they go back and shop now, the rest of the Baron buff would decay and they wouldn't get use out of it. Right now, the gold in their pockets is made up for by the gold value of that Baron buff.
Well, looking for another inhibitor in the end. Pretty much uncontested on this bottom side because they have to focus with all of their members. Even 2 resources being pulled off just for 1 every time. The numbers are in favor of Counter Logic Gaming. Even if Dignitas brings more to the fight, Kiwi Kid gets 1 hit on a Doublelift. He's barrier and flashes down for the previous engagement. Gets himself a little too close there. CLG is going to have to back off for a second, but all the meanwhile, inhibitor number 2 goes down. It did cost Doublelift his life because he burned his flash and barrier in the previous engagement, but look at this. The destruction continues. 9 turrets, and this could be the 3rd inhibitor sub 20 minutes. This could be grounds for a 20-minute surrender if Dignitas doesn't want to withstand this push. Well, it looks like they're going to have to do what they can to put up the last bit of Riot Shield as CLG is not leaving the base, even with Baron off and a Doublelift down. The spear's still coming out from Link. Good disengage from the pillar in the end. They're really not worried about what Dig can bring to the table. They don't have a Talisman of Ascension yet. They're only working off of home guards, and not even everybody has those.
You can see how far behind Dignitas is. They're really just getting started with their builds while CLG is getting ready to finish the game. This back was just CLG putting a line of how far they were willing to push their limits here. They probably could have stuck around and then tried to push once the 3 waves of super minions arrived at the base, but because they were collectively sitting on about 8,000 gold, they decided to shop. The death cap is rather important at this point in the game. I mean, this is an 11,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. It's too much for Dignitas to realistically handle. CLG should just be able to push this in with 3 waves of super minions. And, I mean, just the super minions, even without CLG people there, is a full-time job for Dignitas to keep back right now because they don't have the items required to clear these monstrous minions pushing into their base.
CLG looking to end the game here. Fastest.
Look at how hard it is for them to kill one. The auras work on each other for the super minions, so when there's 2 of them up, they are even stronger. And now when they all come together, these turrets are toast.
Damage is already on to the Nexus. Dignitas doing the rest that they can as Cutie Pie takes just about all of his HP. Gets a shield and the barrier down. The kick did not kill him or would not have killed him. The Nexus turret falls. The Nexus is going to go down. And CLG looks to win the fastest game of the North American Spring Split in 2014. They're going for the kills though. They're letting the minions do the work. They're going to be able to get these kills 9-1. The Nexus falls at 21-35. Our fastest game of the split.